The Titans are missing one of their oldest members, Tempest, and they're about to be betrayed by Tempest even further than they already have. Recently, Nightwing has reformed the Titans. They got back together after the Justice League disbanded, and he invited all of the old members back to live in Titans Tower. While Wally turned him down and decided to just kind of be a rotating member, Tempest officially said no, he won't do it. He's too busy joining up with a cult, and that cult is now attacking Titans Tower in today's story. This story is taking place in the middle of the Beast World event in which we discover who actually orchestrated everything. This is the Comicstorian channel in which I take comic books, turn them into audio dramas so you know what's going on in the world of comics and what you should be adding to your collection. Today we're going to be looking at Titans issues 6 and 7, where we discover just how deep and dark things can get. Years ago on the planet Tamarin, Corey stands with her mother looking out over the sunset on their city. But her mother doesn't have much time for admiring beauty and must leave for a council meeting. Xander, one of her aides, offers to take Corey to play with her sister. "Should I not join mother and father in the council chambers?" Corey asks Xander, and he shakes his head, smiling, telling her not to be so eager to debate taxes at such a young age. As they walk to join Commander, they're all shocked to find an invasion of their planet beginning. The Citadel, acting under the orders of the Dominators, have invaded Tamarin. Corey was captured and enslaved, experimented on, but eventually she rose up and defeated her captors. She freed her people. Now she is the hero Starfire on the planet Earth. And now she's fighting against the Lion Black Adam. She will not allow another planet to be overrun. Back at Titans Tower, Nightwing and Oracle are watching over the whole situation, sending heroes where they need to be as the spores invade the Earth and transform all of those that they infect. Barbara looks over her shoulder at Dick. "This isn't sustainable. All we're doing is reacting. We're gonna be overrun soon." Dick nods, explaining to her that he thinks that he has the beginning of a plan. "Hopefully Dr. Clancy and Bobo can find a medical solution before it comes to that," he says. But down in the tower's med station, Dr. Clancy and Bobo don't have great news. There is no infection as far as they can tell. It's the spores themselves that are actually transforming the people. Meaning the only way to bring back the infected is to draw out the organism inside of them, Nightwing says when he joins them. But their conversation is cut short when the Titan's computer identifies someone at the gate. Outside, Tempest has arrived from Brother Eternity. The Titan's computer briefly shuts down the tower's defenses to let the old Titan member back inside, but Brother Eternity and Tempest watch as they enter. And the rest of the Beast people then rush inside as well. "The Necrostar has been taken, but we will undo this. We will cut the Titans down to size, and we will bring back the Conqueror," Brother Eternity says to Tempest as they enter the tower behind the horde of beasts. Back in the medbay, Oracle comes on the comms and warns Nightwing about the incoming horde. Nightwing rushes Dr. Clancy, her kids, and Bobo to a safe room in the basement. It's ready to take 3 Omega Beam blasts from Darkseid, Nightwing tells them, and Bobo looks at him with a raised eyebrow. "You're not gonna join us?" But Nightwing shakes his head, a look of determination on his face. "No, I'm gonna get my friend back," he says, and Barbara begins to tap away at a few keys on her computer, putting out the word to the rest of the Titans, warning them of Tempest's arrival, asking for aid when they can pull themselves from their tasks. With this done, she joins Nightwing as they begin to move through Titan's Tower. Last chance to head to the safe room, he tells her as they both pull out their blunt weapons, but she shakes her head as they launch into a fight with the horde of beasts. "Better to have 2 people out here who know your plan for dealing with Tempest. The world has a better chance if he's on our side," she says as she whirls around, knocking a rabbit person away with her staff as she kicks a snake person. Meanwhile, Tempest and Brother Eternity arrive at the medical bay and find Wolf Batman growling from his cage. Brother Eternity motions to Tempest to leave him. "Find your friends, Tempest. End them all except the ones that I need," Eternity orders, turning back to Batman, who is continuing to growl. But Eternity only smiles. "Growl all you want, Batman. I'm still going to kill all of your young heroes once they've helped me." Deeper in the tower, Nightwing and Batgirl continue their fight, but stop as water rushes into the hallways, knocking them and the beast to their feet as it begins to fill it up. "He's here," Nightwing says as he breaks from the water. Beneath them, Tempest begins to spiral upward. "Keep your head above water. We have to lead him to the corridor, B," Nightwing shouts to Batgirl as they both tread water, but Batgirl's eyes widen as she sees a green spore drop from the vents above. Nightwing tries to turn quickly, but the creature leaps into his mouth. "Stick to the plan," he gasps at Barbara as he begins to transform before her eyes. Meanwhile, Starfire arrives at the entrance of the tower, asking Oracle where she's needed, but there's no response. More of the spores, sensing Starfire's power, leap at her, but she easily burns them out of the air. Oracle? Nightwing? Can anyone hear me? Corey says over the comms. She looks up as someone steps from the shadows. I can hear you, Brother Eternity says with a smile, and Starfire rushes at him, grabbing him by the throat, slamming him against the wall. You! How did you know about the Necrostar? What did you hope to accomplish by releasing it? She demands. Meanwhile, outside, the sound of a boom tube opening echoes throughout the halls. Eternity smiles, looking down at Corey. Cyborg must be here. Finally. Green energy begins to erupt around him, throwing Corey back, and she looks up in shock as Eternity's disguise burns away, revealing someone from her past. If I had known how much trouble you'd prove to be, I would have just killed you rather than enslaved you, Coriander. Xander says to her as he glances down at her, her eyes widening as she recognizes the man from her past, and he raises his glowing fists at her. You're going to give my god back, princess. Deeper in the tower, a boom tube opens up and Cyborg and Raven step inside to find the halls flooded. It's Tempest. I can feel him. She turns, walking away. I'll face Garth. You find Brother Eternity, she says as she disappears into the darkness. Meanwhile, at the entrance hall, Xander hits Starfire with another blast of energy that sends her into the wall. She gasps as she looks up at him. Xander, you were our friend. You served my family, she gasps. But Xander shakes his head, telling Corey that her family stood in the way of the return of his god. They had to be removed, he shouts, blasting her again, detailing his plan. How he betrayed the royal family, and in return, the Dominators gifted him with one of the last pieces of their god and told him where the Necrostar was imprisoned. They opened the portal to this planet, and a world once too cold for the Necrostar, but one that I could prepare for its rebirth. But Cyborg is suddenly behind him, a massive arm cannon pointed at the alien's head. We get it. You're an absolute shit, Cyborg says and fires, the blast knocking Xander across the room. Cyborg rushes to Starfire's side. He's not here for me, she gasps, and Cyborg turns just in time for one of the microspores to leap down his throat. She was trying to say I'm here for you, Cyborg, Xander says with a smile. Down in the flooded tunnels, Batgirl continues to fight, warning any Titans that are listening that the tower has been overrun. I'm here. Where do you and Nightwing need me? Flash says as he dashes in front of the door. But Batgirl informs them that Nightwing is infected. The hero, now transformed into a fox, leaps out of the shadows at Barbara. I'm sorry, she says as she whirls around, hitting him with her staff. Dick, can you hear me? Batgirl asks, trying to reason with her love. But Tempest appears behind the fox. No, he cannot hear you. Goodbye, he says as he raises his hand, preparing to hit Batgirl with an energy blast. But Raven is there, throwing up a shield just as the blast is about to hit Batgirl. Good timing, Batgirl says as a thanks to her friend, and in a blur of red lightning, Wally is standing next to them. Nightwing is a fox. Of course he is, Wally notes, and Raven links their minds and Batgirl quickly fills them in on the plan. Flash, get Barbara to Corridor B. I'll meet you there, Raven says with a nod, and Wally doesn't hesitate, grabbing Barbara and running through the water. See you soon, he calls over his shoulder, with Raven stalking forward towards Garth. Your magic is strong, Tempest, but the thing controlling you lacks imagination, Raven says as she swats aside one of Tempest's magical blasts. She reaches out her hands. Let's get rid of it, she says, grabbing Tempest and pulling him through the portal to Corridor B, where Oracle and Flash are already waiting in the control room and they seal it. What's about to happen? Raven asks as she shields herself. The fastest way Nightwing can think of to take down an Atlantean is flash dehydration, Batgirl says as she activates the corridor. Massive heat lamps begin to glow and Tempest falls to the ground as the moisture is sucked out of his body. The spore tries to leap to freedom, but Raven destroys it with a simple magical blast. Back at the entrance, Xander is looking at Cyborg, ordering him to bring back the Necrostar, but Cyborg gets to his feet with a look of disgust on his face. This is gross. I can feel it wiggling around. Xander is shocked by his reaction. All have fallen at the spore's control. You will bring back my god, Machine Man. He snaps, but Cyborg smiles, pointing out that he's part human and part alien technology. I'm missing half the things the spore's trying to latch onto, he says before spitting the spore out, and when it hits the ground, Starfire stomps on its head before whirling around and punching Xander. Moments later, the Titans have finally gathered, with Flash explaining that he locked the beast in the tower's basement. They all look at Foxwing, and Wally smiles. This guy was never going to turn into a cockroach, was he? Starfire steps forward and asks Cyborg to release Nightwing from his bubble shield. I can free him, she says. Foxwing leaps at her, and she grabs him, pushing him against the wall. Sensing a stronger host, the spore leaps out of Nightwing's mouth, and Starfire lets it get close before taking a bite out of it and spitting it on the floor. I will not be enslaved again, she says as she wipes her mouth. Nightwing transforms back, and Corey lowers him to the ground. You're okay, she tells him, and Nightwing nods, asking about Tempest as Barbara gives him some support. Hey, Tempest says as he enters the room drinking a glass of water. Somebody's flash dehydrated me. He looks at the others and asks about Brother Eternity. He's with Raven. She said she wanted a word. Nearby, Raven is staring down at Xander. You started all this. You hurt Corey. You enslaved Garth. And because of you, Gar is gone. Xander smiles up at her. You don't scare me, witch. I'm far stronger than you think I am, he says, and she shakes her head. No, you're not. You just latched onto something cruel to make yourself feel stronger, she says as she raises her hand. Xander screams as he disappears before her eyes. She returns to the Titans and informs them that Brother Eternity will no longer be of any trouble. He's in the Phantom Zone. The others look shocked, but she shakes her head and turns away from them. Do not concern yourself with the ethics of this. We have a world to save from the damage he's done. I hope you guys enjoyed these 3 issues, 6, 7, and 8, because this storyline takes place in the middle of the Beast World event. Right in the middle of it, apparently Nightwing turned into a fox and then got better, and that's how they discovered that they can do this, bring powerful individuals to drag away all the enemies. Anyway, Beast World is already concluded on the channel. Now we have the most important tie-in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here for what's probably going to be another Batman adventure.